Greetings guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Monette and this is my channel Evolve with Monette. I am still out here at the lakefront trying to give you guys a different view. I was above earlier. We're going to go down to the end where the lighthouse is maybe before I go. Shaky camera work. I'm nobody Spielberg, but I just wanted you guys to kind of get outside and see the beauty. There's something that I wanted to talk to you about. It's music for healing. In the last year, a lot of them, I want to share with you guys some of the, let me see if I can get my thing set up here so we get more steady of a view. There you go. In the last year, I used a lot of music that was rather shamanistic for healing heartbreak and disillusionment and about March of last year and April, I found Joanna Jinton, who I'm going to connect her channel below, but she is a Swedish creator. She's an artist and a singer and the real life Elsa, as many people say when they read her comments. Oh, by the way, I'm a professional intuitive empath, for those of you that are new here. But Joanna has really followed her life path, her true north, very Gen Z, and very much not letting anybody tell her who she was going to be. She's decided who she is, and she's created a life for herself. But I found her, and I was making some connections with, I think it's Minnetonka is the name, and not the lake Minnetonka or Minnetonkan, but it's a starseed group of people that are very attracted to clear bodies of water that it is believed. I'm going to connect some information below, maybe make another video, and they come from another energy or area or galaxy, but it's this energy of the empath. So as we know that there are starseeds and all of that stuff, this is another classification that I very much identified with. I've always been oddly attracted, especially being a West Indian American from the Keys, to beautiful bodies of water, and I think that very much is par for the course of growing up in the Keys and having all of that amazing ecosystem around. Oh, I don't know if you guys are catching the fish out there jumping, but glacial bodies of water have fascinated me my whole life. And when I was a kid, I would have these reoccurring dreams about living underwater, not like Atlantis, but you know, for those of you that understand that, maybe like that, and being able to breathe. And it was very powerful. Reoccurring dreams that happened all into my early 20s. And what I will say is I had one of those dreams last year as I felt like I was accessing a new part of my Akashic records and having to unlock whatever this betrayal and all the drama that I was going through was about. And when it was time to release a lot of the pain I was carrying of it, they led me to this music. It was like music my soul remembered. The song I'm going to connect below, I believe it's called The Call of the Wild, that she does. And she's essentially just doing this chant, and it's haunting and it's echoing and it's familiar and it's nostalgic. Someone said this is like remembering a heartbreak, a nostalgic heartbreak. It's like healing from a nostalgic heartbreak. And I thought I couldn't have worded it better. Something about the ache and the loneliness and yet the expansion in her voice pulled me back down to earth, because I was untethered and I was unhappy and I was broken, as many of you divine feminines and masculines have been along our journey. Whether it's over a relationship or just a situation in your life that shocked you and took you out of yourself. If you had an out-of-body experience, as we watch these birds, hope you can see them there flying in. If you've had an out-of-body experience, your better angels won. I don't know if you guys saw that flock of white gulls there flying by. Your better angels won. What I will tell you is that her music pulled me into earth. There are a couple other shamanistic, very interesting music that I found. I will connect them below, of people from, ironically enough, very cold places. And one lady I think is Swedish, and another one is coming from, it's not an Inuit tribe, but something, God, is it South? Are they from the South and South Pole? I don't want to get it wrong. There's two women that I was very attracted to in their work and their healing. They become the sounds of nature. They embody totally nature with just their own movements and their energy and expression and certain instruments. And they're a one-woman show, or in one case, she works with another person from her tribe. These things tethered me back to earth when I was not ready to get outside and do grounding, when I was still in denial about how deep my pain was, how hard the betrayal hurt me. These things lifted me out. And if you guys have ever felt and or are familiar with the idea of various starseeds, this starseed group specifically comes from the Belt of Orion, which has been my favorite constellation my whole life. And when I started to get downloaded in the last couple of years about the connection, I was like, wow, it's amazing how God does stuff. I love a good planetarium, y'all. And I'm so sad that we can't be in planetariums now because of COVID and whatnot. That's just not the way that we operate, that we're going to sit next to each other on top of each other staring at a night sky that's projected. However, these things have always been part of my life, and I realized that belt in Orion, there's a certain star there that is burned out, but it's the energy of that, and it is very much synonymous with all of this bodies of water and healing and crystal clear waters. It's also why I'm attracted to the crystal labradorite, okay? It's because that flash of the aurora borealis, that kind of energy is held there. And I'm gonna, like I said, teach about it, but I wanted you to listen to the music that sounds like it would be the soundtrack of a place like this, and it helped me to heal. For some of you guys, it may totally be irrelevant. For some of you guys, you may heal with some good Blondie or a good Metallica song, The Unforgiven. But for me, the Metallica song that also helps me heal and helps me move on and know that karma is about to switch and Akashic page is about to turn is literally Turn the Page. I know that Bob Seger did it originally, but for some reason the Metallica version resonates with me, and my angels play it every time a major shift is happening. I want you guys to start connecting with the music in your life. We all have music that we grew up on that makes us nostalgic, but what is the music in your life that helps you understand that Akashic pages are turning? I want you to elevate your thought process. It's not just about romance or a good time or a fun memory with our parents from when we were kids, and all those things are in our Akashic records, but sometimes we're getting heads up and music from our angels and ancestors. This music that I'm going to connect below is otherworldly. I've not heard anything like it. It is incredible to me that humans are able to make it, and what I want you to understand about it is that it sings to a part of your soul. There are other songs I've taught about on here, but this, without words, it's just the essence of primal release, and also grief, sorrow, sadness, and rising from the ashes. This music is Phoenix from the ashes. So check it out. And also, the thing that I thought was poignant was, as I was coming into this music, my heart was freezing over. I was becoming Elsa. The cold never bothered me anyway. I love it when it's cold. I'm always hot. Growing up in the Keys, so we didn't grow up with AC or any of that stuff. And it was very much like you embrace the sun and the sunshine in the summer, but I always wanted it colder and colder. It could never be cold enough for me, and I'm still that same way today. But in my empathetic self, I'd always tried to be the epitome of warmth and sunshine, and I realized the very important necessity of ice cold, of Burr, of the snowman. I'm not just talking about Jeezy and Gucci so icy. I'm talking about actually freezing yourself over so that you can heal. There's a wisdom in nature. And as you look at Joanna Jitten, the real life Elsa's, if I'm saying her name correct, real life Elsa's video, she does these sweeping drone landscape covers of frozen rivers and lakes and ponds, of streams that are pushing their way through powerfully over rivers and snow and rock, of icy mountains standing alone and cold, of snow-capped pine trees stretching to God. And it's powerful, it's barren, it's lonely, but it's authentic. It is very much a part of our life. Seasons change, things release, pain will surface, and sometimes in order, similar to a doctor inducing a coma so that a patient's brain can de-swell and properly heal before they wake them up to the trauma, again, that is living this life. Sometimes we are put to sleep, and in order for me not to be in the greatest pain of my life, I needed an icy, chilly relief. And I found it in this music, but there was warmth under the surface. You see, when you look at a lake, my husband's from upstate New York, and ice fishing happens, and he and his brother were just talking about that recently, a couple days ago, and I was saying, hey, to my brother-in-law, I hope you have a really good auger. And what do I know about an auger being from the Keys? But I've watched enough of like Alaska, the Final Frontier, and all that stuff. So I'm like, oh, I hope you have a good auger. He's like, yeah, it's not as big as others or whatever. It's a hand one. I'm like, oh my God, you need a power one. The thing about an auger is it's this spiral drill, essentially a large drill that drills through the ice so you can ice fish. And Joanna Jitten also has videos where she is making ice pools to dip in, as is her Swedish tradition, to keep the blood flowing. And there's a whole nother mention of that here that's very healthy for you. Tony Robbins and stuff. A lot of people that are big executive business moguls for some reason love these ice baths because it raises your vibration. Russell Brand did a really good interview with a guy who is, I think he's Russian, and he also literally is like the high priestess of ice and ice bathing and whatnot. Anyway, I digress. The auger drills through a solid sheet of ice, and if you were to walk down on these lakes, some of the ice is so thick that you would never even imagine that there's a whole ecosystem still thriving underneath. That's what I mean by her music. On top it is icy, it's chilling, you'll feel it, and it's lonely, and she's by herself, but then from underneath there's this warmth, there's this regeneration. When you cut through the ice with the auger, you remove it and you catch fish that are alive and thriving, that are huge because they've been protected. They were able to hibernate in their own way, even though they're down there living, and regenerate and even grow. And that's what I want you guys to know about your pain, your grief, and relieving that. You will come out of that place where you were not sure and where you didn't know how. It's a magical thing that happens. For some of you, I want you to understand the totem of the bear, which is about taking the time to regenerate. For those of you that are in fresh heartbreak, my heart goes out to you. I know what it is, my loves. I know what it is, boo-boo. I know. And I want you to know it gets so much better as you go. But beyond that, take time to connect with your soul and let this music permeate you. It will not resonate for all of you, but for those of you that it does, you will remember it like deja vu. It is something from your Akashic records. You will just know, I've heard this before, and not from Frozen, but I've heard it before. I remember this. And that pain and that grief remembers you. It was predestined that you had to do what you did, and now you're free. So for those of you who need something that's so icy, check this out, and come back to life. Release whatever's going on in your spirit. Release your strife. These lakes before me today are completely thawed and have really truly never seen ice. But the truth of the matter is, this is where you're coming back to life. Back to life. Back to reality. Welcome back, Divine Feminine. Come out of the coma. Come out of the place of hibernation. The world, my loves, is waiting. Come back and join me next time, guys, and we will continue to thaw out and evolve together.